Hi guys, my name is Elizabeth Ham and I am a writer. I am not a published author as of yet, but I do love to write poetry and fiction and nonfiction. I do have a couple poems published in the Library of Congress that I had sent in for some competitions, when I was a teenager and a young adult. But right now I am currently working on a poetry book that I am really wanting to get out this year. The whole purpose of this particular video is to talk about Camp NaNoWrimo. We are in full swing Camp NaNoWrimo here in April, and we have just about completed the first week. The first day was on Easter, and or April Fool's Day, whichever one you were celebrating, and we are on day 7. Now, if you're like me, sometimes, the very beginning is so exciting because you have this fresh outlook, you know what you want to get done, and some of us have plans set in place. There's nothing wrong with that, having a plan set in motion, but the whole thing is to plan not to fail. Now, that is easier said than done, because if you are a pantser, something that I had been for the majority of my writing life, then you just write whenever you feel like it and you don't have an outline. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that there's a right or a wrong way to go about the writing process. You know yourself better than anyone. You know what pushes you. You know what creativity strategies that you need to set in place to help you through this. But my thing is, if I were to compare the two, pantsing is good to some extent because you have to be able to be flexible enough that if you do have an outline, to be able to be flexible to change that, because sometimes, if you understand this, especially if you write on a daily basis, sometimes you will have the perfect outline and it looks good on paper, right? And so you sit down to write and you realize, oh, I forgot this, or you know what, it just doesn't set right with me, this particular way that I am going with this storyline. And that's okay. I can't tell you how many times I have decided to do something and it has changed on me. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what creative minds always are doing. Your wheels are always spinning. I can't tell you how many story ideas I get just from everyday life, or even poetry ideas from everyday life. And that is the whole crux of the matter. As a creative soul, whether it be art that you paint, draw, music, you play an instrument, sing, just anything, you can knit, crochet, sew, just anything in the art field. It all comes from within. It all comes from emotion. And the one thing that I have learned is to let it flow. There is a such thing as a creative flow. If you've been writing for any period of time, we all hit roadblocks where we hit it up against a wall, whether we have an outline or not. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not in the right mind space to write this particular scene, or, I had this plan for today, but that's not happening. This is what I want to do instead. And there's nothing wrong with that. For Camp NaNoWrimo, you don't have to choose a certain amount of words. You can. You're more than welcome to. But you do have to choose something, whether it be, like 10,000 words, or, 30 hours, or, I'm writing a poetry book, so, this many lines. Now, I didn't choose the lines because I have no way of knowing how many lines are supposed to be in a project. This is all new for me. It's compiling, the poetry that I've written in my young adult life into a book. And honestly, I decided to just use hours because, hey, 30 hours, an hour a day, there's nothing wrong with that. I can get that done. But the thing of it is, whether you have a plan, how you're going to write something, or whether you don't, I do highly recommend that you plan the when of when you're going to write, whether it be in the morning when you first wake up or midday. You know, some people, they like to write in the evening. That would be me. I write best in the evening. I put my headphones in, I have my playlist, and I write in the evening. But to plan a time is a must, because if you don't plan it, you know, just like anything else, if you don't plan to succeed, you're actually planning to fail. You might not say, oh, I'm planning to fail this month. No, but you didn't put steps forth to plan to succeed. And I do believe that with all of my heart, because I have been in both positions. I have been where, you know, I'll write when I can or when I feel the urge. Well, guess what? We're not always going to feel the urge. And the one thing about Camp NaNoWrimo is there are thousands of people across the world doing this right now. You know, we all sign up. We are put in cabins. No, we're not put in literal cabins. But, you know, on the site, you know, we're put in cabins. We are a support system for each other. We all are doing something this month collectively to put our work into the world. And we're not always going to feel like writing. I promise you that. There'll be days where I just don't feel it, but I have my writing session at this particular time, and this is gonna happen, you know? Liz, you're gonna sit down, you're gonna put your music in, and you have until 8 o'clock to get this done, you know? Put your phone upside down. Don't allow any distractions to get in your way. That dedicated time is the time that you just crank your whole heart onto that page, because in doing so you will find that it adds up. Yes, things are gonna happen, life is gonna happen, people are gonna get sick, you know, anything just will come in to like get you to not write, and that's fine. You can take days off. There's no said thing or said rule that says you must write at such and such time every day and that's it. No. There'll be days you just want to take off, spend time with your family, spend time with yourself. That's fine. That's all fine. But plan to succeed. That is the major thing that I would, you know, tell you to do, because with planning to succeed, you are actually planning and you will succeed. If you don't make any plans to write, I promise you, you will not write. You might write the first week and the second week, but you'll run out of gas and you didn't plan a set time. And before you know it, if you're doing hours like I am, you only got 14 hours and I just don't got it. And now it's April 29th and you still have 14 hours. Oh no, there's only 24 hours in the day. I'm not gonna get done by the 30th. You see what I mean? Like you're putting unnecessary pressure on yourself. So if you like, you know, what you're hearing, if you want, you know, if there's a particular subject that you want, just put it in the comments below, and I will be making some videos in the future. My name, like I said, is Elizabeth Ham, and I am working on my first poetry book. I do plan on doing a video soon about my writing journey, or, you know, my life in general, you know, compared to writing. If you want me to do a whole video on poetry, I'd be glad to do that as well. But I do want to urge you this upcoming week for Camp NaNoWrimo, please do plan a time that you will write. And I promise you, you plan that and you have a plan B backup in case that falls through, you will get more writing done than if you didn't have it set in place. So if you like what you hear, just hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I will do writing tips, and we'll see you next time. Bye.